Hello, world. This is Tommy Hagewood coming to you from Leesburg, Florida, the lakefront city in Lake County in the Sunshine State. It's 85 degrees on the way to 88. This is Monday, July the 27th, 2020. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Acts 24:25 contains some of the saddest words in the Bible. It says, "Now as he reasoned about righteousness, self-control, and judgment to come, Felix was afraid and answered, 'Go away for now. When I have a convenient time, I will call for you.'" Paul was making his defense before Governor Felix and his wife Drusilla. The sadness comes from the words Felix spoke as he rejected Paul's message. As we examine the context of this verse, we need to carefully note the message defined, the message delivered, and the message declined. As we look at the message defined, Paul's three-part message was simply a message that was simple and yet profound. It consisted of righteousness, self-control, and judgment to come. The righteousness of God is made known in the gospel according to Romans 1:16 and 17, which states, "For I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God to salvation for everyone who believes, for the Jew first and also for the Greek. For in it the righteousness of God is revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith." The righteousness of God is simply God's means whereby we can be right with Him, right with ourselves, and right with our fellow man. Self-control is what a person must use to bring himself or herself in line with God's will for their life. Bear in mind, we are considering the righteousness of God, not the righteousness of men, whose sense of what is right and wrong is often perverted and sinful. The judgment to come is the judgment of the great day when we'll all stand before God to account for our lives on earth, according to Romans 2 and verse 16, which says, "In the day in which God will judge the secrets of men by Jesus Christ according to my gospel." Now let's look at the message that was delivered. Felix and Drusilla lived for self-gratification. Felix was a freed slave who ascended to be a Roman governor. Tacitus, a Roman historian, said of Felix, "With every kind of cruelty and lust, Felix exercised the authority of a king with the temper of a slave." Drusilla was Felix's third wife. She, according to secular sources, was a stunningly beautiful woman who had been seduced from her husband by Felix when she was 16. She's now 20 years old. Paul's message was simple yet profound. He could have served himself better by speaking to Governor Felix and his wife Drusilla about almost anything else. But he chose to speak a message they needed to hear. He was interested in trying to save them, not in trying to save himself. Paul delivered a message of righteousness, living to be right with God, a message of self-control, bringing your life under God's control, and a message of judgment to come, facing the God of heaven to account for your life here on earth. His message was direct, simple, profound, courageous, and sorely needed. The King James Version says, "Felix trembled." Paul's message presented a lifestyle that was just the opposite of how Felix and Drusilla had chosen to live their lives. Now let's look at the message declined. Felix told Paul, "Go away for now. When I have a convenient time, I will call for you." He had heard all he wanted to hear. He and his wife were living as they desired to live, according to their own self-gratification, and besides, Felix was enthroned as a Roman governor. They were enjoying their ungodly lifestyle. Paul, on the other hand, was chained as a prisoner, dressed in prison garb and on trial for his life. Why should they change to be like Paul? They needed to change because they were headed for the judgment seat of Christ and the final accounting of their lives, as we read in 2 Corinthians 5 and verse 10, "For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that each one may receive the things done in the body according to what is done, whether good or bad." It is no wonder Felix trembled at Paul's message. What about you? What kind of life are you living? The kind that gratifies the flesh or the kind that pleases God? Remember, God's righteousness is revealed in the gospel, and it conflicts with the righteousness of men. You need to exercise self-control to live according to God's message of truth. But the very first requirement of discipleship, you may recall from Friday's lesson, is self-denial. In Matthew 16:24, for example, Jesus said to his disciples, "If anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me." Only those who are willing to deny self and are willing to go a step further to exercise self-control. Neither self-denial nor self-control are easy to practice. But remember this one fact. Jesus exercised them both to save you and me. and we will face Him in judgment to see if we were willing to exercise them for Him. Until next time, remember to search the Scriptures to serve the Lord and to share the gospel with others. It's a message that's too good to keep. This is Tommy Hagewood wishing for you a very pleasant good day.